Good morning, traders. I'm our strategies on the 27th of March, and you've got yourself another gap opening in what has been a relatively directionless market. I'm going to just quickly show you this because it's an amazing time to be trading futures, and the volatility has provided some unbelievable swings. And some tremendous opportunities to really capitalize on a lot of these turns. I mean, if you really look at this market from the beginning of the year, we're just totally range bound. 4,200 high, and you probably have a 3,800 low. And that's just from the beginning of this year. I mean, you can extend it a little bit if you take in October, which is 3,500, but for now, this is what you got. And it's been playing fairly consistently to a lot of these levels. So yes, I do believe that patterns do repeat in the markets, and you do a little homework, you pay attention to these areas, and obviously you have to engage. You can see how it played out on Friday really well. They held the 200. It's a big deal for now. That is basically your line in the sand in the ES. And you can just see how even when we struggled with it and we kept rolling into the mid 38s, that once we got it back above the two, it stayed above the two. And today, for what it's worth, it's about the 50. And we just rolled from it. You're a gap higher. You have to be ready to take a short position in this. You're really fading the extremes. This is what I've been emphasizing for a really long time, over years now, is to take advantage of the extremes because the market overreacts on both ends, on both sides, and when it does, it reverses. It's consistent. And, as a trader, you just have to acknowledge that. The interesting thing is I've been getting so many emails, and I'm sure many of you who trade probably continue to get tons of them as well, because everybody, or at least a lot of these platforms or whatever they're doing, they're posting all these great trades they're making. And, I don't question it. I'm sure they have. I don't know their systems. I really don't pay attention to them. Everybody seems to have the magical touch for these markets. I think at the end of the day, it's about you acknowledging these locations. So I'm going to quickly get to today and we'll take it from there. You still have a gap higher. Get rid of this chart. And this right here is your 50. That's the white line right there. And it's always important when you trade the futures. At least I do. And not everybody, a lot of traders like to take all the turns. It depends on what type of style of trading. I'm more patient. I always believe in waiting for the locations. Even if they don't come, I don't get them. I don't get them. Like this morning, they came in and they immediately rolled them. And they tried to get everybody in. They made a low of 19. And sure enough, they rammed them right back up. And I always talk about these pivots because they do come into play. And you pay attention to them, you'd be surprised how much they do. And they came up there. Now, I was hoping that they would punch through because that's the ideal reversal for me. Punch through the price and then roll. It's not always perfect. They tapped it, they came close to it, and then they rolled. And now you can see what's happening is, and I took the short. I was a little late because if it punches through the price, I'm more aggressive because that's what I'm looking for. But it fell short, and I'm thinking, are we coming back up through it? It isn't 9 o'clock yet. Usually the market makes a big significant move at 9. It fell short. It rolled. It came back down to 20, and it came back up. And I see it's trying to fight that 50 MA again. So, it's giving you an opportunity. There's still a gap down below to about 40.01. It's going to eventually come back down. It's just going to take some time. So you're going to have to watch how it plays off the MA. But the opportunities are there. It's all about being patient and taking advantage of these locations. So let's see how this thing plays out for the rest of the day. Once again, unbelievable opportunity. In fact, let me just roll this down so you can see how everything's playing out. See how R1, R1. These are the first resistance levels for today's markets today. That's the Dow right here, or that's ES. This is the Dow. The Dow got up to 37.27. I mean, realistically, if the market really wants to take one hard push, the Dow could go up all the way up to 32,840. I don't know if that's going to happen. And the ES, I'm just still can't see it getting up to 40, 60 today, but I've seen crazier things happen. So right now, you're going to have to see how this thing plays out. Right now we're struggling with they're trying to decide what to do right here at R1. You see how they got up, rolled it, came back up one more time, kind of like the ES did, and they topped out and rolled. So we're gonna have to see if this thing continues to roll over and come down to where maybe there's a buying opportunity. I just can't see buying it up here. Um, I'm looking for this market to show failure at the extreme levels up here, given that there's a pretty sizable, still about a 22 handle. Well, it's really not. It's really about 18 because the low they made a low of 18, so that's 18 to 01 is your gap for now. So this is how you take advantage of this stuff. Whether you're a new trader, I understand it's hard to look at and say, how do you take those shots? But that's really how I believe that the best trades are the trades that nobody wants, and those usually turn out to be the most profitable. So you got to be thinking a little differently than the majority. So here we are today. We're still hanging around this 50 MA, so you're gonna just have to be patient with it and look for another opportunity. There will be another short available. And you just have to see how if it gets up here one more time, if it does. And then we'll see whether or not they provide another weakness. They can ram them up one more time and make a double top come through this for confirmation. If it rolls with confirmation, it's a short you have to take. Absolutely. So this is the 27th of March. Feel free to reach out if any of you want to, better understand this method of trading. It's really about you putting in a little time to understand the pivots, the moving averages, and how price plays around these locations. It's consistent, and you'd be surprised how well it plays out. All right, have a great week, everybody. Take care.